boldly and effectively proclaim the good news.
May the Spirit touch our ears, that we may listen carefully, touch our minds, that we may understand correctly, and touch our hearts, that we may respond to that message graciously.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Bueno, yo quiero empezar a decir buenos días y gracias por permitirme venir aquí para compartir con ustedes. Y estoy emocionada de hacerlo y para compartir un poco de mi tiempo allá. Y espero que será una bendición a sus vidas como era una bendición para mí. And I said, good morning, and thank you for letting me come here to be able to share with y'all a little bit of the time that I had in Mexico and while I was there. And I hope that it will be a blessing to each of you as it was to me in my life during my time there. So this is where I was. I just did a screenshot with my phone. So this is the area where I was in Veracruz. I was in the city of Orizaba, Veracruz. It's a bit closer right here. So not too far from the coast, but around in that area. And I wanted to explain how I first became interested in going there. There's a church in South Augusta that's similar to my own, and they go down there for mission trips every year and do like a medical clinic. And my sister had been wanting to go, but I really didn't want to. And then in 2014, my mom, my sister, and I decided that we would go down there and see what it was like. So we went, and I was so surprised how much I fell in love with the country. As cliche as that sounds. I realized that it was just a beautiful country. I loved the people. I loved the work that the people were doing there. And I wanted to be able to continue doing that. So this is the team that I first went down there with in 2014. And I was only there for a week, but I realized that I wanted to go back and spend a longer period of time there. So the next year, I went back and I served with them again for a month and a half. And then this summer, I went back again and I stayed for almost 3 months. So what this is it's a mission out of a church in Orizaba, and there's several missionaries, like young people. There's single people, a lot of single people, and some married couples that serve. Like the guys live above the church, and we girls lived in another house down the road. So they serve basically full time in the mission. So Tuesday through Sunday, they go out every day to the surrounding mountain villages and share with the people there about the gospel. And then they also go to different people's houses and share, have a Bible study with them, like people who are believers that they've already met before and had contact with. They go back and they continue their relationship with them. So that's what these people do every day, and so I was able to serve with them. These are the girls that I lived with. The lady in the middle was visiting from Spain, but all these other girls are the ones that I lived with. At first we were living in a 2-room house. It was just 2 rooms, and there were 7 of us living there. And to be perfectly honest, that was a bit of a struggle for me to live in such close quarters. But the Lord challenged me in that area and helped me grow my faith and learn how to get along with other people who aren't my family members. And then I ended up being able to move to another house because 3 other girls were coming and there just wasn't enough room. So we had another little house that someone in the church let us use. And then I just want to be able to explain a few things about what we do, a few days during the week of what we do. So this was on a Monday. On Mondays we don't go to the mountains. We were able to just get things done. We needed to go grocery shopping, wash our clothes, etc. Just rest. And this might me and my friend Kelly go into the market to get vegetables and meat. This is chicken, just laying out on the table, and some hanging up. But it wasn't uncommon to see chicken laying out like that, and it was very hard for me to get used to. But I just had to trust the Lord that He would take care of my stomach. So, and then this is the start of the week. Every week I went to this town called Wichita. And first of all, I should say that the people in these mountain areas, they're more Aztec Indians, and so they speak a language called Nahuatl. There's actually several different types of Nahuatl in Mexico, but the Nahuatl people speak this language, and they'll speak some Spanish and some Nahuatl. Some people in this town spoke a lot more Nahuatl than Spanish, so it was hard for me to be able to share with them because they didn't really understand me. And then other people would speak more Spanish, and then it'd be a mix. So that's basically what was going on. And my Spanish grew the entire time I was there, last year and this year. Just from living with those girls and living with people who only spoke Spanish, that's how I really learned. And so we would walk from house to house at the top of the mountain, and then we'd make our way down and just stop and visit with people. We do about 6 houses in a day on Tuesdays. And then these are 2 girls that we would go and visit sometimes. The one on the far left, actually, she's 5 years old and her sister is 4. But she really concerned me because she wasn't able to speak. She could hear, she could understand. She did things we told her to, and I can tell she tried to communicate, but she couldn't get the words out that she wanted to say, and I'm really hoping that someone will be able to figure out how to help her, because her parents don't know what to do, but they just they do the best they can. Her sister makes up for it. She talks for her. This right here is a house in the mountains of Mexico. A lot of us have sheds in our backyards that are better than this, to be perfectly honest. And most of the houses are made of wood, and then they have gaps in between the pieces of wood, so the cold comes in the wintertime. And it's actually cold in the summertime too. I lived in my hoodie half the time because it was so chilly there. But I just want you to see what their living conditions are really like. It's pretty poor. These are the kids that live in that house. And this is another house that we would visit every week in this town. This day we came and we made our lunch in the house, and the lady showed us how to make tortillas. I was so excited to learn how to do that. And this right here is like her stove. That's what she cooks on. There's a fire underneath, and then she literally puts the comal, which is what you make tortillas on, or she puts a pot on top directly onto the fire and cooks that way. And that's the way they do things. They eat a lot of beans and tortillas, and their protein mostly would be with eggs. There's not a whole lot of meat that they eat just because it's so much more expensive. And then, of course, hot peppers over here. I ate a little sliver of that and almost died. Okay, this is the town of Cabaluca. This is where I would go on Wednesdays, and there's a valley. This is a picture from last year when I was there. Daryl and I would walk up the mountain to another town called Cappadocia, and we would share with these kids, and they were always so willing and so ready to hear about the Bible stories that we would share, and just soaked up God's word. And it was such a blessing for me to see that, and how eager they were to hear and listen, and how much they remembered about what we taught them before. So they were a huge blessing to me. And then, so here we're dancing and singing with them. These are it was mostly like in this big room we would share in, and they had 3 beds in there. There's something else, like all the people kind of sleep together in one big room, because there isn't very much privacy in these places. And then this is in another area of the town, further down on the bottom of the mountain in Cappadocia. And I would go and share with them. These kids, this girl right here in the middle with the notepad, was so excited about learning English. Every time I go there, she'd ask me to teach her more English words, more phrases, and then the other kids would listen too, and it was great. This is definitely my favorite picture because of this kid. He was the greatest. And they're all excited about, everyone's holding a coin, because I had given them just a few of my coins, like American coins, and they thought it was so cool. And I was trying to explain to them that they saw that one person had a nickel and the other person had a dime. And they were like, but that one's bigger. And I was like, but this one is worth more. And just trying to like explain to them the differences. It was really interesting. But they love hearing the Bible stories too. This is on Thursday. The first 2 Thursdays I was there, I went to another town called Shoshokopa. And we would just share like normal there. But when I came, then I started going to Zongolika. This is Zongolika. And while I was here, this is the only picture I have of the town because I never actually took pictures. But while I was there, I would go and I would share in the prison. They have a prison there, and there's 4 women that are living there right now. There's a lot more men, and there's another man who goes and he shares the gospel and has Bible study with those men. And there's actually a lot of believers in this prison because of the ministry that they've continued there. And so I would go with the women. There's a girl who goes there every week, but while I was there, she had me share and do the Bible study with those women. Something that's interesting is that, like, it's just a little room that they live in. There's bunk beds. They have a stove in there so they cook their own food. And 2 women have children in there. That's not something that we have here. But last year when I was there, one lady had just given birth. And so her son's a year old now. And then another lady has a child who I think is about 3 years old. And those are the 2 kids that are in the prison with these mothers. And I was wondering how long can they stay in there, and my friend Ingrid told me that they can only stay until they're 5 years old. So this little girl who's about 3, this prison is not the only thing that she's known in her life. You know, her mom is like her constant. And so when she's 5 years old, she's going to have to leave and probably go live with another family member while her mom continues out her sentence. And so it's really hard for me to think about that because I know it'll be hard for them to separate. And but a lot of I think all 4 of the women are believers in this prison through the ministry of the people going and sharing there. And so they're not completely without hope. They have the hope of Jesus in their hearts, and that's a huge encouragement. And then while we were here, like, there were other people. After that, we would go and share in other different areas, in different houses, and then we'd have like a women's meeting at a church above a restaurant. And then there would be like a normal like a Bible study sermon thing that the guys would lead. and I would like take the kids off and have a meeting with them. Most of the time while we were there, they would have when we have our Bible study, if there was a man that we were visiting, if it was a man and a woman or several people, one of the men or the guys that we were with would share with them. But then if it was all women, or just one woman, one of the men would ask me or another girl to share with them so that it'd be a little bit more comfortable. And if we weren't sharing, then we would probably take the kids and go off to another area and have a little Bible study or class with them. So I learned lots of songs in Spanish while I was there to teach them. And then this is just, this was on Friday. This was at a place called Tapioca. A lot of these names are very Nahuatl, so it's a lot different, but there was a lot of walking on Fridays. I walked several miles each Friday, just going from house to house was very spread out. So that's what I did, and we walked, and then we made it down to a town. So this is what it looks like, just, so steep, and just walking on the mountain trails, it's really pretty. And then we make it to some days we go and we share in a panaderia, which is a bread store. And the people, they would continue working and making the bread, and we would share with them, share the gospel or have a little lesson with them as they were working. And to be perfectly honest, the best smelling thing is a panaderia. It smells so good. It's just, I guess you have to experience to understand it. But I love going there and visiting with them. This was another Friday while I was there. We were having there was a dedication for a baby right here. But up here we were making tamales. And they taught me how to make them, and I was so excited because I thought, yes, now I can make them here. And so they were pretty neat, teaching me that. But they were the spiciest tamales I've ever eaten in my life. They were delicious, and it was a really good time, getting to know everyone, and just living with one another, sharing different things. And the people in the mountains and in all of Mexico really are extremely hospitable. We take pride in our southern hospitality, but those people there are just, they're poor, they don't have very much, but they give you the best that they have every time that we go there. Some days we would eat breakfast really well, or no, we wouldn't eat very much breakfast, and we go out and we think, well, people just, they're going to feed us at every single house, and then we go out and we wouldn't really get anything to eat at different houses. And then we eat a lot of breakfast one day and think, okay, we're prepared for the day, we got this. We go out, they fed us at every single house, and it was just like, but it was good, and the Lord helped us through it, and it was a blessing to be able to do that. And then this is the end. I just wanted to be able to share that this is like a little pathway at this hill, and at the top are 3 crosses. And I've always we passed it a few times, and sometimes I just wanted to stop and just take like a walk up to the crosses at the top and be able to stop and pray. But I took this picture because as a reminder of my time there, because it really was a lot more challenging for me this year than it was last year. Just getting along with the people was a lot more of a struggle. Their leader had passed away this past January unexpectedly, and they're all still kind of like trying to figure out how to do things, and a lot of them were affected by it. So it was a little bit harder to just kind of figure out how to go about things, and it's different about getting along with people and just really getting through the culture, the cultural barriers. But it was an entire uphill journey while I was there. But at the end, I realized things about myself. I realized the baggage that I had taken there. And the Lord really worked through me and humbled me during my time there. And made me realize all the pride and all the selfishness that I carried. And at the end, I finally realized, my issues, and I had to lay them, at the feet of the cross, which is at the top of this hill. And once I did that, excuse me, and gave it all to the Lord, He truly blessed me and showed me His love and how and what He really wanted from me. So even though I hadn't really ever thought about being a missionary, I had never seen that as something that I would do. After being here in Mexico, the Lord has truly shown me that I do want to serve Him wholeheartedly for the rest of my life. And it is a desire that I have, whether it's here or in another area. I'm just looking forward to seeing what His plan is for me, what He has in store. So I didn't know, do we have time for questions, or anyone has any? Yes.
You were speaking about walking out in long distances by yourself. Are there any animals that are likely to encounter that are going to harm you?
There's a lot of dogs in Mexico, like street dogs. They're everywhere. They're always walking on the side of the road or sleeping on the side of the road. There was one time last year I was walking. This was a really stupid idea, to be perfectly honest. I was walking through one of the mountain towns in the dark by myself, and I was walking along, and then all of a sudden I hear this barking, and out of this cornfield runs out 4 dogs and started chasing me. And it was really scary. And I kind of screamed and threw my water bottle at them, and then I ran. But yeah, it's mostly the dogs that are, I would say, the most dangerous. Most of them are scared, and so they don't really bother you. But sometimes they're a little bit